Alright, I got this pretty well mounted up on there now. Sitting on there pretty flat. Just got done tightening these down, so I haven't checked to see if it's hitting on anything yet. Where's my tripod? Doing a lot of cutting on there, grinding on the back so you can't see it. So we got two washers in there. If it's not all the way down, you should hear a rattle. I don't hear a rattle. So that means the washers are down all the way. So after I bolt it down, then I got to look at it. I remember a problem I had I thought about before, but once you weld this together and make it all in piece, you're not going to be able to take it apart because these are going this way and these are going this way. That means you can't pull up. That would be a problem. So the way you get around that, you get a little bit shorter studs here, and you got to have slots. The holes have to be cut at an angle, which means you have a big oval hole, which I didn't really want to do, but oh well. It's the only way you can make it work. So you got to figure out what you want to slot out. You want to slot this part out or slot this part out. So this is the least important part because this here bolts on top of it. So you can see how there's a slot on this, obviously. So that means we need to slot it. This was my checking tool I use for checking under here for clearance. You can see where you're hitting. So this one's hitting pretty evenly all the way around. It's mainly hitting on the leather under there right now. Yeah, something to make a lot of noise outside. That is a bus with a very loud air compressor. Alright, so that means I'm going to have to slot these holes out here quite a bit to let me pull this up. So now you got to determine how much you're going to have to slot it. So we've got to come up at an angle like this. If you get one chance of doing this right, and then you're too short, you're screwed. So going up's not a problem this way. The problem is going to be over here. So I make a line. Basically go straight down like this. Okay. So as you lift up, you're going to get any clearance in the back of the hole, but on the front of the hole, you're going to hit the side of the stud. So all you do is you take your vertical, put it right on the edge of the thread there, and you can see where the mark on there is at. That's how much you need to slot it. Then you'll be able to pull this straight up. The next problem is back here. These ones here are going to be the same kind of issue. So it's going to pull back this way a little bit further also. So that means you have to go a little bit more further than this to make it clear. So because this is going it's not a vertical, it's going at an angle like this. So you're going to grow by 1/8 of an inch here, so then you go another 1/8 inch more on the slot there. So where you get to slot the holes out on these. I'd rather not slot the holes out on this. Come on right over there. But if we're going to slot these ones out, we got to go to the back side. So I could probably slot them a little bit and not really care. Just do an eyeball. About to there on both of those will do it. So instead of having one huge ass slot, you can do a couple little smaller ones and get the same effect. It's all about distance. So once you have the distance you need, you're good. Alright, so I like how this is. Came out nice and flush, which is good. Like that. shorten your studs up somewhat, you're going to have all this distance in there either. So all we need is enough room for that and a nut. So we can probably blow off quite a bit of that thread. The problem is these threads are pretty bad, so you want to keep them as long as you can, so when you strip it you got more threads to work with. So these I'll leave long. These ones I got to shorten up because they're going to hit the frame if I don't. So this we need a washer. Flange nuts, all we need. You can cut these off flush. Washer. Bending that bracket. So we need to bend this bracket slightly right through here just a little bit. About an 1/8 inch gap that we need. So we got to determine how much you want to do over this. That's the direction I really want to go. So you can pick how high you want the nose of the seat to be. Damn it. It could be like this direction. This direction. So this direction raises the seat way up. See how the pivot's way over here. Come out this direction here. The nose of the seat drops by a 1/2 inch, which is the direction I like being. You see there's a big gap right here. We're going to fill that gap in. So, to keep the gap equal, it drops the nose. So we're going to want to put a washer in there about 1/8 inch thick on both of those. So we have to find a thicker washer to go in there, preferably something large diameter, give more support. So, a couple of these would work. Let's hope to sit on top of this. And that's not enough. Spent a lot of time getting this down real low, but I think that I need to see how much I cut all that out. I think at this point it was a wasted effort. Let me get this raised up here on this side. And a nice big thick washer. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. If you use the radius side down, it gives you more room in the front. Over here, I'll go the other direction. Where's my piece at? That raises up quite a bit. So this is leather right here. If you tighten up against it, it'll push it down a little bit. Okay. I've got lots of room underneath that bracket now. Okay, so now the bracket's giving me support all the way up to the front here, which I like. The leather up here is going to indent on it from the pressure. And we cut these studs off right here to gain clearance. Now I need to bend this down further now because now I'm way up in the air by 1/8 of an inch. Because things have moved. Also the height went forward on us when we did that, so now we got a big gap over here now. We know if we flip this over it gets further forward, though, remember? There we go. Now it's right up against it again. It's adjustable, see? It's actually hit on that back corner there. Slot this hole out slightly and it'll go forward and hit on that side. So we're hitting right here in this corner right here. Okay, that looks good. So I bend this down a little bit further, support the seat like we want it to be. So probably bend it way up in here. Bring it down a little bit closer. I'm going to have to flatten it out in here a little bit. We'll start bending it way up in here in the top. Get it right down on top of this because we're up here in the air 1/8 of an inch. So we need to come down 1/8 real quick. You want to support the inside of the seat as much as you can. Obviously that'll be, because the seat's going to bend down in the middle from a heavy butt. Most of the pressure's going to be back here, but I like getting this down too. It doesn't hurt to be right up against that pan. Alright, so it looks like that will do what I need. Like I said, we'll just cut these off flush when we're done. So that's going to be here in a few minutes. It's going to be done here pretty quickly. I'm going to cut these off. Okay, so I got to bend that down a little bit. So it's a constant back and forth, figuring out what you got to do. Okay, so the first thing I do is get this hole here slotted out. So get our file in there and work it over. Official tool. Now you're making a whole oval, not round. You just make the hole bigger by doing that. It takes away all the support you need for support. If you just slide out the part that needs to go away, things fit right on there like they're supposed to, no problem. Much better. It only takes a minute to do it. Okay, so now we got to do the deal with this. Let's see. I'm going to cut these off right now. So this one needs a cut zone. This piece right here. Work area up front here. Here's a big cut. Old tires come in handy. There. Keep your hose out of the way, not a problem. There's two pieces of metal now. Pick those up so don't walk on them. They're hot right now too. I'm going to cool off a little bit.